Relationship building is different than trust building. If you're selling from your old construct for how you think you should be doing things, you're going to hit a wall. Trust-based selling is a major mindset shift. Diagnosing the client's problem before recommending the solution. Stop engaging. That's a sales behavior. Clarity is the value, not your solution. So fact-finding questions comes after they trust you, not before they trust you. If you're not skilled at getting the truth to people, you'll chase ghosts forever. The more you can stop selling and build trust with people, the better.
What's going on, guys? Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Tech Leaders Playbook. Today, we're diving into the world of sales without selling, how trust, not persuasion, can transform business growth. Our guest, Ari Galper, is the mind and the trust-based selling and the one-call sale, and now Ari AI, an AI platform built from decades of his frameworks that he's built and things like that. If you've ever felt stuck chasing leads or pitching endlessly, Ari's approach may just be your entire playbook. Ari, even though this is the Tech Leaders Playbook, this is a very important topic. That's why I wanted you on the show, because so many brilliant technology people, engineers and product people come up with the great products, but they can't sell it. Right, and that's usually the reason they die, not because their product wasn't good. So that's why we're doing this. Welcome, and thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Let's do it. This is the number one trusted resource when it comes to these things. So I'm glad he's here. What exactly is trust-based selling, and why does it work in today's crazy business climate, where honestly the business isn't great for a lot of organizations?
For sure, I will tell you that obviously the world's changed in the last 4 or 5 years since COVID. It's become much more commoditized. You're being shopped and compared to someone else. It's not the old days where you met somebody, describe what you do, and they're like, "Oh, great! How do I sign up?" And I kind of miss those days. It was so nice.
Don't we all?
Now it's pretty ruthless out there. So if you're selling from your old construct for how you think you should be doing things in the new world, you're going to hit a wall. So trust-based selling is a major mindset shift. The concept is you're moving from solution-centric thinking to problem-centric thinking. Right? So most tech leaders are all about their product. They're so excited about it. They want to show it to people. They're enthusiastic about it, but that's solution-centric thinking first in the process. So our model is more of a doctor-patient mental model where you're diagnosing the client's problem before recommending the solution. So stop being the pharmacist and be the doctor concept. That's the model behind it.
But that's been a concept, right, Ari? Like that's been consultative sales, diagnostic-based sales has been around for a little bit longer. I feel like yours is a little bit more unique. Like, what's the key difference?
Yeah, those terms have been thrown around quite a bit for a very long time. The challenge with that is what usually happens is if you do a consultative approach with people and you kind of ask them a few questions, you qualify them, then what happens is your system in the back of your mind goes, "Oh, they're a good fit. Let me now begin to show them what we do." That's where it stops. So what I've done is taken what I call below the iceberg, much deeper inside their world for a long time until trust is created. And they say this to you. They say, "How can you help me?"
Yeah.
You have to wait for that moment. So you're not matching. The consulting model was, let's see if we're a fit.
Got it.
That doctor doesn't say, "Let's see if we're a fit." Doctor says, "Let's see if your problem is serious enough to solve or not." So it's deeper in that.
I like that. Area. I like that, Ari. From our call, I think that's what I took away from it is like really trying to understand if this problem, the status quo, is not okay. Tell me a little bit about how do you figure out if someone's problem is big enough, urgent enough to solve, and if the status quo is no longer an option, because a lot of times status quo is the option.
Correct.
I'm an open-minded guy, sometimes too open-minded. I'm an entrepreneur. I run multiple businesses, so I'm always open to a conversation. But 70-80% of the time, it's like, nah, it's okay. Like, we're good. I mean, we're good for now. We can just do nothing or stay with the current solution.
Correct. That's how people typically think. So the concept here, and that's part of our model, is called COI, cost of inaction. What's it costing them not to solve the problem? See, most people drop off with, "Well, it's okay, we'll do it later. Okay, let's keep in touch." Really? Your job is to help them see the business case and the landscape behind the impact and risk by not solving it. So you might say things like, Have you thought about how it's impacting your sales team right now? Have you calculated the losses every month by not getting enough market share? Have you taken this home every night and bothering you in terms of you and your wife? Like, you have to help them see and own their own problem to build a business case to justify solving it. Otherwise, on their own, they won't do it. That's your job, is to have the nuance and language of how to do that.
Nice. How did you develop the one call sale framework, and what problems we're trying to solve with that concept?
Yeah, so it came after, this is about my 25th year doing this. I can't believe it, but about 4 or 5 years in, I saw the shift happening where a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners were chasing leads, long sales cycle, following up with them, and they were disheartened because they had a great call with someone, great meetings, and the guy wants to think about it. And they dropped into a black hole. So I said to myself, how can I compress a sales cycle from multiple steps down to one single conversation? Now, I don't mean a signed contract on one call. What I mean is a commitment to want to solve their problem with you and move to a next step in your process. So I figured out a framework in a simple way, but using what I call trust-based languaging to really peel the onion back around the problem, where they see the impact and loss behind it. And then you ask them this question: is this a priority for you to resolve once and for all? Or is something you want to deal with down the road? I'm okay either way. The concept is it's their problem, not yours. Don't try and take it over your shoulders and own it. So that's how it came. And now it's really designed, look, this is designed for low volume, high margin businesses that aren't doing transactional sales, but they want a long-term client. And so to compress the sales cycle down to one call is an amazing thing.
Why is old school persuasion, that's an easy answer, pitching and even kind of relationship building, which people love to say they're relationship builders, why is that less effective than trust building and this concept, this one call sale?
Okay, so there's a big arching overall concept to think about for a second. Took me a while to figure this one out. Here it is. Relationship building is different than trust building. Okay? Here's why. Relationship building, real relationships take a lot of time, as we know in our personal lives, right? You don't build trust with someone unless you meet with them for lunch, get together again. It takes a lot of time. Thing is, you don't have a lot of time. Yeah. So you remove the relationship piece altogether. And I tell my clients is stop building relationships pre-sale. Only after they're a client, not before they're a client, because they know it's fake. They know you're trying to get to know them better. They know it's part of the sales game. That's why it's over to hello. When they hear the whole, hey, how's it going? How'd you hear about us today? Fantastic. Here's the call. They know the game. The game's, it's up. They get it. So the concept is you got to learn how to build trust with people, not build a friendship with them. Because once you're friends with them, you're a peer, you're not an authority anymore, right? Doctors don't say, hey, let's have lunch first before we get together. What's your background? I love your shoes. They don't try and build a rapport with you. That's a sales thing that everyone knows a mile away. It's got a hidden agenda.
That's really good, because one of the biggest challenge you'll see with nice people that are what they consider themselves relationship builders is they end up in the freaking friend zone for like 2 years and they have these incredible meetings. You're like, you ever gonna close a deal? Like, we got mouths to feed, and it always sounds positive, but they're in the damn friend zone, and it's so frustrating and usually they're likable people, and usually they are trying to build relationships, even if it is authentic. But we don't have time for that, especially the startups out there. Yep. Man, they might not have enough runway for that second lunch to build a relationship. So I get it. I mean, and you're right. Some relationships, I have relationships that go back 17, 20 years. That's fine, because they were based on trust and legitimacy and us doing good business, not because we were buddies, you know?
If you ever hear someone say to you, we had a great meeting, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because there should not be, that should not be the end result of your pre-sale process. What they should say is they're on the calendar for a next step.
Interesting. That's really good. Do you have any real world stories where specifically trust-based selling completely changed the outcome of a deal? I want to see it kind of more tangible. What does it look like?
So many examples, but look, I'll get one example. Remember, this is designed for low volume, high margin. So I've got actually a consultant, financial wealth management advisor, who's constantly doing what I call free consulting. Overeducating, giving value, giving tips. And he'd always get at the end of his meetings, I want to think about it. He's like, Ari, I'm doing all the right things. Why aren't people not committing? And so I said, do me a favor, bring me your recordings of your conversations. He does it on Zoom. Let me listen to what you're doing. He's like, sure, I'm doing all the right things. He plays the recording, and I swear to God, this guy would not shut up.
Yeah.
And I was up the tape and said, why are you talking right now? Because I'm supposed to engage, aren't I? Yeah. Stop engaging. That's a sales behavior. Just listen. Yeah. It's so hard for people who sell to just stop talking because their brain is constantly scanning for an opportunity to move them to a next step.
Yeah.
So our whole model is to let go of all that obligation and that burden on you and to sit still for a minute and to have a process to diagnose their problem without you trying to move them forward, which requires you letting go of the sale here and being present.
Are you? Yeah. Go for it. Please finish your thought.
I'm just saying people can pick it up from you at hello, whether you're genuine or not. They can tell you're playing the game.
How did you change the game for this individual? What did they? I'm hoping
so
they stopped
what I
talking
did
so
was
much.
So in our coaching process, he played the recordings. I said, stop the tape right there. You're already assuming, making assumptions. You're not getting any business case behind this. You're missing the ability to connect with him. He may like you, but he doesn't trust you. The only goal of that first meeting is trust building, not delivering value.
And
value's been commoditized.
How do you build trust, Ari? The way I look at it is there's only two ways. One, I come in knowing more about your industry than you do, so I can give you knowledge. Two, I ask you the right questions that makes you feel like, okay, I'm in good hands. Is there something else beyond that the trust building concept is?
I'd say don't do number one. Don't try and impress them with how much you know.
Yeah.
That's selling. That's called flexing. You try to impress them with how much you know about them. Okay? When you see a doctor, he doesn't talk about, you before you get there. He says, what he says? He says, where does it hurt? It's the first thing he says. So let me walk you through right now the language pattern, the track that we help our clients understand.
Please.
I'll give you a concept behind this. So let's just say you're in a first call with an opportunity, okay, on Zoom, first one-on-one, lead through LinkedIn or website, whatever. Usually it kind of goes like this. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. How'd you hear about us? And look, the plan is today is discuss our needs and see if we're... All right, so here's how we work. Our model. They show up on Zoom. First thing you say is, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well.
Let's get to work.
Not a word. Then you can say this. Cut all the rapport out, chit-chat out altogether. Now, bedside manner, empathy. Next thing you say is this. If it's okay with you, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment and walk a bit through your background, your situation, and up to your current concerns you have with your business, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you? Take your fingers like this, over your mouth, like a doctor. Sit back on your chair like that. This is a reminder for you to stop talking.
Yeah. It's
going to be hard at first. And it shows them physically that this call is not about you today. This is about them and their issue. That gives them permission to start downloading on you, telling you about their world. Write it hello, what I call top of the iceberg. Nothing about you. Do not talk about yourself. You let them unravel with you. Now, when you say that, and I'll say it again, if it's okay with you, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment. I'll put your background and situation up to current concerns you have with you or whatever, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you, Mike? That silence you're creating gives us space to be able to open up to you to see you're not going to keep talking. That's the first checkbox they have in their mind. Can I trust this guy? He's not talking. This is good. Next thing that they'll start telling you their situation, right? And your problem. As you're listening, your mindset will start to analyze and go, hey, this is a good fit for us. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, we can do this. But I'm going to ask, everyone listening now or watching to stop thinking like that. Don't try to solve the problem. Be present. Just summarize and crystallize the core issue. So you'd say, so what I hear from you is your core problem is X, Y, and Z. Is that right? Guy goes, exactly. He's going, checkbox number 2. Yeah, she listened to me. Next question down, but the iceberg goes like this. How long has this been a concern for you for? The last 6 months, we've had some issues. Okay. What have you done so far on your own to try and resolve this? So it goes down a track that basically dimensionalizes their problem to help them own it and see it for the first time with complete clarity. Clarity is the value, not your solution.
That's good. Very good. Let's talk about going from coaching to AI, the birth of Ari AI, which I actually tried, and I thought it was a pretty damn good product. Tell me what prompted you to do this? What was the idea behind it, and how does it add on to your existing world?
Sure. So years ago, when the internet came around, almost every expert in the world put all their stuff online for free to add more value. And it felt kind of strange at the time to do that. I just felt like, to me, it doesn't seem right to put all my IP for free on the web. Yeah. So I just only put up 5% and kept the rest in a locked box in a cloud that I have access to. And I upload everything to that cloud. It's been there for years, 25 years of all my IP, 17 million words. Then next thing I know, AI comes out of nowhere the last couple of years. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. I can take all my knowledge that's not publicly available through ChatGPT or anywhere else in my own private digital mind that only access to it is clients access only, to be able to access me at any time with AI underneath the bottom of it. And that's what I developed, called Ari AI. It's got all my private content in there about trust-based approaching communication. So it's not like the typical tools that scans the internet and finds the happy medium. This is all scanning wisdom based on a proprietary model that does not mix in with everything else.
That's good. That's very good. How is it different from general purpose AI tools like ChatGPT, right? Because there's a lot of good information is already in there.
Yeah, because this one has my specific knowledge in it only. It doesn't have other people in there mixed together. It's all my approach, my thinking, my languaging. It's the only system from the bottom up built on a trust-based model. There's nothing else in it that can corrupt it to make it glossier or seem different.
Is this something the clients access, Ari? It's paid for, obviously, right?
Yeah. People can subscribe to it, and they can get a live demo of it. They can actually try and break it. I tell them, bring your toughest scenario in and test it live. And it's my voice, it's me, and you can talk to me and see what the answer is. People are blown away, and they sign up. I say, don't just come and take a look. Try and break it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, walk us through how a business leader might use it to right before a big call or a negotiation or something like that.
So I've got folks right now who are doing it for multiple purposes. We have quite a few people who are actually role playing with my digital mind live before a complex situation. They're also creating follow-up emails to make sure people respond back from a trust-based perspective. They're even writing social media content cleaned up through my model to make sure it's really done from a trust model. We have folks who are actually going through very complex scenarios with clients, and they're very touchy. You know, if you say the wrong thing or you come across like you're chasing them, you can lose the deal. So they're literally having a conversation with my digital mind every day as if I was a third brain in their business. So it gives me scale. It can choose any language you want, Japanese, English, Spanish, and we have folks in the world that are using it right now.
Nice. Let's talk about diagnosing versus selling. We were kind of already on that topic. You compare, I believe, sales conversations to doctor-patient relationships, right? I like that. That's a good example. How does the metaform help leaders shift their mindset beyond what you already described? You already described sit back, listen, ask questions, kill the rapport building. It's not necessary. And again, like you said, it's artificial, right? You don't know me to ask me questions about a bunch of crap, right? We're not there yet. So I guess what's the difference between fact-finding questions and trust-building questions?
So fact-finding questions comes after they trust you, not before they trust you. Okay? That's the one separation. The other separation is for leaders in sales, you have to stop being the pharmacist and start being the doctor. Don't mix it all together, right? Think about the process that goes to your doctor. First thing you do is you call and make an appointment. Then you schedule in your calendar an extra half an hour in case of traffic. Then you drive over there and you sit in the front desk area and you wait. Look at your watch and you wait. But do you invoice them for your time? No. That's not how it works. You comply with this process. Mm-hmm. And you show up in the clinic and the first thing he says to you is, where does it hurt? My shoulder hurts. He says, let me take a look. Let's go swore on the kitchen x-ray to see what's going on. He gets the x-ray and says, here's a problem you've got. Or MRI, he says, your shoulder problem is not from your football game yesterday. It's from a blood clot in your right calf causing that problem. You're like, what? Yeah, oh my, I thought that's what the problem was. No, this is what the issue is and how serious it is. He writes your prescription. You walk out the door and you pay. You pay the doctor, not for solving your problem, only for clarity on a path to go solve it. What most people do is they just provide the answers the minute they qualify the client. Let me show you how we can help you. We got case studies. We got a demo. Oh my God, we can totally help you. And they mess the whole thing up because there's no trust building in between that.
What is the most common thing sales managers, what mistakes are they making with their teams?
Great question. And let me give you a tip right now from listening. The biggest issue and mistake the sales teams do right now around the world is using this phrase. And I'm going to ask you all to never use this phrase ever again after you hear this. And this might hurt just a bit. Here it comes. Never again use the phrase follow-up ever again the rest of your life. Don't use it in emails. Don't call someone, call a follow-up, because what does that tell them right away? Who uses the word follow-up only?
Salespeople.
Right. You're not the doctor, the sales guy trying to chase them to get the sale. So stop using emails saying, hi, I'm writing follow-up, because you're just pigeonholing yourself, and they can see what your agenda is, which is your goal, not theirs. So instead, replace the word follow-up with this one. I'm just giving you a call to see if you have any feedback on our previous conversation, any feedback on our last meeting, any feedback on the demo. Feedback's going backwards, not forwards. When you try to move them forward, they feel resistance from you and pressure from you. When you go backwards, that creates the truth using that one phrase, feedback.
Why? Why do we, it's a word I don't love. Why is I love feedback, but not from a sales perspective. Why do we care about their feedback?
Because our goal is the truth of what's on their mind, not the sale itself. Because you can't build trust with somebody unless you feel comfortable telling you their truth.
And the truth could be something like, Ari, the platform's great, but it's more of a CRM, and that's actually not why we started this thing. Allowing them, or you in this case, to overcome misunderstandings and objections are not accurate, or the truth, which is we don't need the product, we don't need the service, we don't need you.
Here's the thing. If you're not skilled at getting the truth to people, you'll chase ghosts forever. People you think are going to buy, but will never tell you the truth, and you have a huge pipeline, but a low conversion rate. But you'll still feel busy because a lot of people you got to call today.
What are the two key things there? I mean, the follow-up is you're trying to move it ahead, and the feedback is what was your feedback from our meeting? What are you hoping to gather? Is it to just the truth, like you said, but what would these people say, right? They can
you want to know,
waste your time.
You want to know where they stand.
Okay.
So you can let them go. There's only two on-ramps, off-ramps, okay? Either they're not a fit and you let them go legitimately. No guilt at all. You're not a wimp, let them go. They just aren't going to do anything here. Or the other off-ramp is, would you be open to us scheduling a call again to talk through some different ideas? You may have questions for me. I may have questions for you. We can brainstorm some new ideas together to try and work this out to solve your problem. Would you be open to that? See, you on-ramp them back to your calendar again so they don't fall off your calendar. If they're off your calendar, you're in trouble. That means you weren't good at trust building from the beginning, where they felt comfortable staying with you on your calendar every step of the way.
Ari, I don't know if there's a book, A Jolt Effect. I don't know if you've ever read it.
No.
But a really good book, and your stuff about urgency and the cost of inaction kind of reminds me of that. It's like you talk about the unpacking and the cost of inaction. That's like my favorite concept of it. What does that look like in action? What would how would we figure out without being pushy, what is the cost of inaction? And what if it's kind of in the middle? It's not urgent, but they're in the beginning of the process of trying to discover it, but they're not ready yet, or it's not as urgent.
Well, it's not that they're not ready. It's that it's not a priority for them to solve. Your job is to make a linear decision and help them make that decision. Is this a priority for you where it's impacting your company enough that justify fixing, or is it not? See, they'll still call you and say, yeah, we just started our process. We're looking for a new solution. We're trying to do this. You're like, oh, great. Awesome. I got a lead. You're like, in our world, we're like, okay, so what's the problem you want to solve? I'll give you an example, classic example. Just recently, I had a call with a VP sales who rushed to get a hold of me on a Zoom call. He's like, Ari, we want to bring you in to talk to our sales team. We like your approach, your languaging. We want to inspire the crew for the new year. Can we have you come in and talk? I said to him, what problem do you want to solve? He goes, no, we just like your approach. We like your ideas. Just come on in. We had a great year and all things are good. I just want to give everybody some more tools. I said, what problem do you want to solve? No, I just want to kind of bring you. Like, he could not articulate a darn problem. So I said to him this, let me ask you a question. How many leads a month is your team getting on a monthly basis on average? He goes, 100. I go, of those 100, how many convert to a new client? He goes, 15. I said, what happened to the 85? Let's work on that problem. That'll double your business. We just focus on that problem. He goes, yeah, let's work on that problem.
Sure.
He himself could not articulate his own problem. I had to as a doctor.
There you go, Dr. Ari. What parallels do you see between trust-based sales and building organizational culture?
What do you mean?
You've got a culture that's used to this kind of like living in this la-la land, this friend zone, this things look great. I went to a conference. You paid for this conference, boss, and I'm going to show you all the great things that potentially one day could possibly come back. We both are like, you got nothing here, right? How do you build a culture that's positive and friendly and does build relationships, but at the same time is about delivering? Like, how do you that culture is tough to build and rebuild?
They can still be friendly and nice, but they have to have a new embedded skill set. I spoke to a large group of CEOs last year at UCLA. They brought me in for their alumni CEO forum. And I told all the CEOs, I said, my first idea today is to tell your sales team to stop selling. I go, what? That's right. Stop selling and learn how to build trust instead. It's a new skill set they don't even know yet.
Yeah.
The old school stuff, selling itself, the game itself is up. And I took them to talk, they kind of got it. But the concept here is that they have to go through transformation, right? So our model, if people say to me, Ari, what's your program like? I say, we have no program, okay? We do what's called an intervention. We get your team together and we say, stop doing these things. They're hurting everything, your results, your energy, your time. Let me show you how to do it much easier, less complexity, simple, more natural. Stop selling yourselves, guys. And they're like, how do we do that? And they're very open to change it because it's so
good. It's half
simple.
The battle.
Correct.
Ari, one of the things we're big on here is like, don't be a seller, be a buyer. Because when you're a buyer, you have a different energy, right? And in our business, so we have a consulting engineering, like tech consulting business, but our recruiting business, it's almost worse to get business that's not urgent. So that also resonated with me is if it's contingent, especially, oh my God, even on retained, sometimes the target's moving so much.
Correct.
So we asked what if what work isn't getting done? If the answer is like nothing, what the hell are you doing then? Why are you wasting our time? Where it's not urgent, we just kind of want to see what's out there. Nope, not on our dime, right? And that's a skill set. It's very challenging to train on. Is like, you don't want this business. I know you can get it, and yes, it looks good on paper, but it's really not business. You're just wasting your time. So I think people forget, like, they like being busy. They like looking like they're doing something productive, but often you find yourself wasting your time with bad business. It's like having an empty chair is better than a bad employee, for example, or it's like having a bad tenant. It's better your place is empty, right?
Correct.
Let's talk like what's your biggest aha moment in your career? Because I'm sure to be a sales expert, you've learned like, I used to teach this, but now I realize that actually wasn't true. Or, hey man, things are changing. The world is changing. What's been your biggest aha moments recently?
I had a pivotal moment that happened to me years ago that caused me to think this way. And I'll tell you quickly the story.
Completely.
So I was a sales manager in a tech company myself. I was managing 18 salespeople. And we launched the first online website data collection tools for websites. Now it's called Google Analytics. You know what that is. But we were the first one to launch that product years ago. And I got this inbound lead for my website. It was a huge whale, big opportunity. If I close this one sale, it'll double the revenue in one opportunity. That's how big it was. So the contact calls me, have a great conversation with a huge company, and he wants a demo. So I said, no problem. We scheduled a live demo for Friday 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in the conference room with my CEO, big long conference table. Back then it was the old school Polycon conference phone with the 3 legs on it, Star Trek kind of looking things. I hit the speakerphone, I dialed the number. He's like, hey, Ari, how's it going? I said, great. He says to me, let us tell you who's here with us in the room. I said, great. Next thing I hear is, my name's John, I'm CEO. I was like, ooh, this is good. My name's Mike, I'm head of global marketing. Perfect. My name's Chris, I'm head of global IT. Amazing. Everybody on this call was a decision maker. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen today because they're all there. So I then introduced myself. I had them all log into an old school webinar system back then. We did a live demo of one of their websites collecting real-time data with our pixel in the back of their pages at the time. So I'm showing this to them how it works. And I started hearing this noise on the phone call like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. They start asking me all kinds of questions. How does it work? How does the tech work? How do we install it? Who are your clients? Of course, I had all the answers. There was so much chemistry on this phone call. It was like a love fest on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it just, they got the questions. I got the answers. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, this is so good. The chemistry. I got the high five back at my boss, like, nice job. An hour goes by. They're loving it. And we say our goodbyes. And my contact says to me, Ari, this is amazing. We love this. Give us a call a couple of weeks. Follow up with us. And we'll move this thing forward. I'm like, thank you, God. I'm like, this is the perfect sales call. I said my goodbyes, took my hand, my arm, reached for the speakerphone, hit the off button. As I'm reaching for the off button, by complete accident, now it's a divine intervention, I hit the mute button instead of the off button. By complete accident, a small click happened, and hit that, I hung up the phone. In that split second, a voice inside of me said, Ari, go to the dark side. Be a fly in the wall. Go where I wasn't gone before. So I listened in, they started talking amongst themselves, thinking I left the call. Now, you'd imagine what I should have heard, things that were positive. But here's what they said verbatim, word for word. I'll never forget it while we're all here today. They said, we're not going to go with him. Keep using him for more information. And make sure we shop someplace else cheaper. Wow. Knife in heart twist. I was in a state of shock. I was like, what?
It's crazy. That's weird.
I did everything I'm supposed to be doing from the sales gurus and the books on my home. And I was like, what? And I snapped out of it, hit the off button. Little wall, I said to myself, what did I do wrong? I was competent. I was professional. I was nice. I had the answers. And I realized that moment that they felt comfortable not telling me the truth. And there's a game going on here, a dysfunctional game between buyer and seller, was no one's able to actually tell the truth to each other. And I said to myself, that's it. I'm going to create a way to unlock the sales game and cut through all this BS once and for all and never chase a ghost ever again. That's what inspired me to launch this movement.
But what actually went wrong now that you look at that background? Because I mean,
it was my fault for not having the skills to get to the truth earlier. Now, people always say to me, Ari, if you knew what you do now, what have you done 20 years ago? And here's the answer. When I had the first call with the guy, I would not have scheduled a next call with him.
Why not?
So I would have figured out where they were at, what his mindset was, his timing, where he's at, and if the problem wasn't clear, wants to solve, not competitive, I would have let him go.
But in this case, it went well. You did not set up another meeting. It seemed like a lot went wrong. Now it's easy. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback, but would you genuinely have done it differently? I wasn't on that call.
Well, if I know what I know now, remember that was back then when I was just kind of a guy who's went to seminars, read the books, and doing all the good things I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. So I decided to not do any more of what I was doing there and change the whole frame so that I understood way up front in the process what the plans were versus getting caught up in playing that chasing game.
Yeah, it's sometimes as a veteran you're just jaded, right? And sometimes you'll walk away from someone that's rookie or is excited about something, and you're like, yeah, you don't have shit, and it's frustrating. So what do you mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but you really, that's nothing. That means nothing. But maybe it's part of that. And look, how are you supposed to know that this company has this evil plan, right? Like, I mean, why wouldn't they consider you guys? But anyway, that's good. What's your favorite book, business or personal, but it's influenced your philosophy?
I think the most is the 80/20 Sales and Marketing book by Perry Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
He has a very good book that helps you drill down and prioritize and sift out what's most important in your world, whether it's business, contacts, records. Just that 80/20 thinking has changed my whole way of thinking about the business.
Nice. That's 80/20. Okay. I think I've seen it. Is it an orange book?
Yeah, 80/20 Sales and Marketing. Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
It's very good.
You yourself have written, I believe, 7 books.
7 books, that's correct.
Congrats. That's incredible. Every time someone tells me I should write a book, I hang up because I'm like, nope. How did you shape your business? How did that shape your business and your credibility? I think I even asked you about this. Does it actually help your business?
Oh, yeah, it's massive, because the key in any expertise field is you want to become the trusted authority, okay? And the first word in authority is author. And what I realize is the one with the most books at the end wins the game. Because the more books you have, the more unquestionable you are, unassailable you are, and they can't challenge you because you are the expert. You wrote the books on the topic. So I've got multiple books on these topics. My latest one is Trust in a Split Second. And this one here just coming out now, The Rise of AI and the Decline of Trust, How to Grow Your Business in this new economy. So I do a book every quarter. We have a system here and a model and a team that produces these very quickly for people for these purposes.
Ari, these are great strategies that you've taught. I don't know if it's strategies, but tactics, whatever. But that's when you're actually meeting with people, right? And most people do pretty well during the meeting. How about talking about AI and the decline of trust? Is there are so many AI emails going out that you don't even know if you're talking to people anymore. How do real people writing real emails to real people, how do they stand out? Because that's the most tough thing right now, right? If response rates were, I don't know, 3, 4, 5%, I'm not really a sales guy, but they're probably 1% now. And I don't blame them. There's so much noise. How can you respond? 80% of the stuff is just spam.
The only way to cut the noise is to make sure that all of your writing is only problem-centric. Where you write to their problems, you market the problems. You do not talk about you. How do you know the problems?
How do you know the problems if you don't know them?
You know your sector. You know your ICP. You know your ideal client. If you don't know the top 5 problems that you solve for people, you got a problem. Okay, so what I'm suggesting to you is people will say, yeah, how do I know the problems, Ari? I'm like, well, what are the 4 or 5 issues that your solution solves for people? Do you know that? And it's like, oh, yeah, it solves that, it solves that, it solves that. Great. Take those problems, market those, not your solution first.
Yeah, no one cares.
Because here's why. They don't at first, they don't care about how you solve their problem. All they care about is, do you understand them? And the problem is the way they connect you and them to trust you enough to understand their problem.
Well, the key is they don't trust that you know their problem, nor that your solution is the one, right?
Correct.
That's a big one. Let's go personal for a minute, and it could be business personal. What's one personal piece of advice you'd give to anyone listening today?
I did this for my son. My son, Toby, he has Down syndrome. I wrote a book about him called Lessons from Toby. And awesome. He has taught basically, and that's embedded in my whole approach, is to, and the way he is with people, he plays no games with people. He has no hidden agenda. He's very transparent. He's very direct, and you know where he stands. I said, what a great set of principles for people to use in the sales process. Because it cuts to the game. So the more you can stop selling and build trust with people, the better.
Yeah, folks on the spectrum have the most interesting. They literally tell you what they're thinking, and sometimes it's not pretty, but it's the truth, right? Oh man. One more. If you could put a piece of advice on a billboard for every, let's say, tech founder, an executive C, what would it say?
I would say, and I'll repeat this again, but it's important. Stop selling, period. Start building trust instead. And I'll parentheses underneath that. That does not include relationship building.
Stop doing that. That's good stuff. Ari, it's been great. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fantastic conversation. I judge these and if I can learn something from it, right? If you'd like to learn more about Ari, you can visit his website. I think it's unlockthegame.com, right, Ari?
Also, my latest book you can get for free at thetrustbook.com.
Nice. Grab that. I think all 7 of his books are on Amazon. Grab that. And of course, be sure to connect on LinkedIn and keep up with the latest updates and things like that. At the end of the day, the theme that sticks with me is an era of complexity, whether you're leading teams, pitching products, or building companies. Trust isn't just a value, it's the real currency. I mean, that's all that's left. AI has taken away so many things. The only thing we have left is our ability to connect on a deep human level. Ari, thank you so much, man. It's been great.
Well said. Thank you.
Thanks, Ari. And that brings us to the end of another great episode of the Tech Leaders Playbook. I want to thank you for joining us and hope you took away some valuable insights to apply in your professional journey. Don't forget to subscribe on your preferred podcast platform so you don't miss out on the next great conversation. I promise it'll be good. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd appreciate if you could leave us a review. Your feedback not only helps us improve, but it also helps others discover the podcast. Better leaders mean better working environments. Better working environments leads to happier people. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. I'm Avetis Antaplyan, and this has been the Tech Leaders Playbook. Keep leading, keep learning, keep giving, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay inspired, my friends.